Hello, I am Chris Pickard. I am Director of Body Imbalance in Hertfordshire. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get notifications, because every week I try and bring more information on health and wellness. And if you're watching this today, I'm assuming that you're either interested in Gandhi or health or both. And especially if you're interested in health, if you wait to the end, I'm going to tell you what Gandhi thought about mud and why he thought it could cure a fever and why he might be right or might have been right. And then also a free gift, a free health challenge looking at modern day strategies to bring about great health or maintain great health. So first of all, before I begin though, a big shout out to Ron White, memory expert. Because as I was actually doing a little bit of research into Gandhi and health, I've already read a lot about Gandhi. I'm a big fan of Mahatma Gandhi. And if you don't know who Mahatma Gandhi is, please go and Google and read his autobiography. But yeah, I knew he read a lot about health, but I didn't actually realize he'd written a book on health called A Guide to Health. And you can find it on YouTube. And while I was actually doing that, I came across a guy called Ron White. He's a memory expert, and he'd read the book and he'd summarized it in half an hour. And so I want to thank him for doing that, because this is a summary of the summary with a bit more input from the point of view of a health expert, aka me. So first of all, Gandhi didn't believe in breakfast. And this is something that there's a lot of stuff about ketosis and intermittent fasting these days. Gandhi was massively into fasting because he believed that people generally overate. And his theory was that really you should only eat after you've actually done some work. And first thing in the morning when you get up, you have not been working. You've just been lying down and doing nothing. And so you should be getting up and moving around and doing things for at least 3 hours before you have breakfast. And I think generally for a lot of people, that's a good rule. However, if you haven't had breakfast for many years, then it might be worth having breakfast and seeing what that does for you. So skipping breakfast, fasting. Next thing, Gandhi believed that you basically should be eating your water, because he quite rightly, rather than drinking lots, he thought, yes, you can drink a little bit of water just to quench your thirst. But if you're thirsty all the time, it's probably a sign that there's something else happening, which could be absolutely true. You could have diabetes insipidus, for instance. But also, if you're actually eating a lot of fresh raw foods, which he was a big proponent of eating lots of fresh raw foods as a vegetarian, then they should be full of water. When you cook food, water leaves it. But when you have lots of raw foods, you're actually going to be eating water. And we now know that there's something called structured water. And when you drink water, it's not the same as when you actually eat a piece of fruit or a raw vegetable. You actually get much better hydration. And even nuts and seeds can actually help you hydrate and hold the water in your body. Go and watch my videos on Hydration 101. There's a few of them, and you'll learn more about structured water and easy water. So next, Gandhi wasn't a big fan of dairy. He pointed out quite rightly that, well, dairy from cows, I mean, what other species drinks the milk from another species? I mean, basically the milk is there for the calves, for the young of that species. And then once they grow up, they don't have milk anymore. And so nowadays, the milk we buy on our shelves and the dairy is very adulterated. Yes, I mean, it's highly processed. It's very different from just milk straight out of a cow. There's a lot of stuff missing. Yes, it might be cleaner, but also there's good stuff missing. When you take all the fats out, there's more sugars, there's more female hormones, there's antibiotics in modern milk. But he thought you're much better off with almond milk or also olive oil. And actually, if you get a little bit of olive oil and mix it in almond milk, it's actually quite nice. There we go. Next up, again, no surprises. Gandhi was also always a fan of saying, no matter how busy you are, you must find to walk every day and do some exercise, at least 40 minutes of exercise. And he believed quite passionately that unless you exercised, you would have a weakened mind. And what we know today is that if you don't exercise, you are more likely to get dementia. You are more likely to be depressed. You are more likely to suffer from stress-related problems. And so, yeah, exercise is incredibly important for the mind. It keeps the mind actually working. At the same time, he thinks it's important that you actually do some work to engage your mind. It's not just about exercise, you actually have to do some things to engage your mind. And so therefore, his perfect job was a farmer, because a farmer does physical work, plus they have to know what's going on with the crops, with the animals, what's happening all the year round. So they're engaging their mind and their body. Genius. He's also not a big lover of clothes and shoes. He believed that too tighter clothes would actually stop the body from breathing. Also, we know that if people don't actually get enough sunlight on their body, it can actually cause the immune system to dysfunction. And we also know that when sunlight gets onto the skin, it helps convert cholesterol into vitamin D3. So getting outside in sunshine on as much of your body as possible has all kinds of positive effects, as long as you don't burn. But what he also thought, no shoes as well. We know that shoes can cramp the feet and cause deformities and arthritic changes. But there's also something else when you walk barefooted on the ground. And I'm going to get back to the mud and the ground in a minute, and another reason why barefoot walking outside can be so good. And finally, again, outside, clean air. He believed in getting outside as much as possible, as much fresh air. And he believed that basically being inside buildings shared with other people, when you're breathing other people's exhaled air, it's like drinking their urine or eating their vomit. Yes, quite extreme, I know, quite extreme, but he believed that, you don't drink other people's urine, so why should you breathe their air? Get outside, make sure there's lots of air coming in all of the time. Fresh air is very important for health. Unfortunately, today, there are so many toxins and pollutants in our atmosphere that we need masks, we need to do stuff to actually clean our lungs. It's not just about natural hygiene anymore. I mean, obviously prevention is better than cure. That's what Gandhi believed in as well, which is why he believed in an outdoor physical exercise, eating healthy, and eating good food, etc, etc, etc. And we also know that fasting is one of the most powerful things in the world for actually clearing the crud and rubbish from our body and rejuvenating it. So what's this about mud then? And why is barefoot on the ground so good? Well, one of the things that Gandhi, when Ron White was doing his review of the book, is saying, why would, burying yourself, basically going outside, if you've got a fever or you've got a cold or the flu, why would digging a hole in the ground, putting yourself in the ground, covering yourself in mud, why would that get rid of a fever? Well, we know that when you're actually grounded electrically, such as being barefoot on the proper ground, not on concrete, but actually on grass and mud, or in the sea, you're actually discharging positive ions into the ground. And positive ions, the positive electric charge that we build up in our body through inflammation, causes more inflammation and more damage to the body. And also can cause problems with the immune system. And when we actually electrically ground ourselves, and the best way to do that is actually to get as much of your body in contact with the ground as possible, you are going to discharge heat, so you're going to get rid of a temperature and a fever. You're also going to discharge positive ions. You're going to bring down inflammation. So Gandhi was actually onto something there as well. Though he was actually a big believer in mud and putting it just on you. Whether mud has some the mud he used had some minerals in it, we don't know, but he believed in keeping some mud with you, or some earth, for emergencies. There you go, you can't be 100% right about everything. So, would you like more health? Because if you would, then I would like to introduce you to the Magnificent 7 Health Strategies that were devised by one of my mentors, Dr. Bob Rakowski, in the United States, in Houston at the Natural Medicine Center. The Magnificent 7 Health Strategies about thinking right, moving right, sleeping right. And it's a guide to being healthy, or a guide to regaining your health. If you'd like a PDF and more information, then look out for the link that I'll put up so you can get the PDF, you can watch some videos, you can learn more about the Magnificent 7. Thank you for watching, And yeah, go and learn some more about Gandhi, and go and learn more about improving your memory with Ron White as well. I assume he's good. Be well.